Beyonce do on Cowboy Carter? She's like this. I have no nails. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. All right, so boom. So a lot of people have been really feeling broke kin by the economy. Think about it. We got layoffs happening. The inflation is inflating, but the government or the powers that be, the Federal Reserve, love to say, "Oh, inflation is not really that high." But when you go to the grocery store, you're noticing the prices go up. When you go to get certain things, and the prices are still going up. Inflation is still inflating. It might not be inflating for them, but it's inflating within your wallet. My bad. My name is Nadia. I'm a financial planner as well as an educator. I help people understand their wallet while to build their wealth. So the part of this video is to bring about what I was talking to my client about. Let us say audit your wallet, right? So my client was doing just that so she can actually build a budget. And one of the things I suggested her is a no spend or a low spend challenge. And I'm sure you probably have seen this all over social media. If you follow me on any form of social media, you know I've already talked about that. No spend challenges is pretty much you just go cold turkey with your spending. Outside of the essentials, you know the essentials look like for you. Outside of the essentials, you don't spend. You don't do anything. But on the other side of the house, you have low spend challenges. So say for instance, I usually go to Target and I spend $200, but yet and still I know I most of the time I'm over inflating beyond what the lists say. You're going outside of the list. So you're going to cut down that list to only spend within a certain parameter or on certain things. So no spin challenges are pretty much cold turkey, but low spin challenges allows you to get even more intentional with what you're spending. So the reason why I am bringing this is because I want you to not only just see no spin, low spin challenges as something as of a facade, but actually get the factuals of what your budget and spending look like and how you can better align for not only a not going in the red or pink or whatever, but for you to understand where your green is going. How can you actually make it go further and retain some of it more so than it just, I don't know what my budget is doing. I'm doing 50, 30, 20, or I'm doing zero based budgeting, but the math is not mathing. It's because you have to really understand the reality of your spending, and low spend, no spend challenges allows you to do so. So the thing around it is that I see them as being, like I said, a rebalancing of what are you doing with your budget and how you want to restructure it. And you're allowing yourself to know and list out what those essentials are for you. How does it actually show up in your budget? What are you taking the insights from what you've done over the last couple of months to aligning what you really want to do, and how does it actually math with your money? Because you can't say that I want to do my budget, but yet you go look through your bank statement or you go look through your credit card statement and you're noticing things that are outside of your budget that you already allocate and zero it down. It's not really showing it's within your budget. It's like, yeah, you can have the budget, and but you're more so moving off of vibes than understanding the value of what you're spending. And the thing that I got to my client is like, hey sis, that I call her sis, is that we're going through this 1 week, 2 weeks. Some people do no spend challenges, low spend challenges for like at least a week, and then they say, hey, I can keep going. But the thing it allows you to do is to fine tune where you are with your money to see what am I overspending on. And even if I can't find different ways to hit those, to still get that thing, but in a different manner. So that's why I want to use this video to do, is to talk about not only low spend, no spend challenges, but to actually let you see what they look like, and then how to take those insights from that challenge to actually implement within a better budget or spending plan. And let me go ahead and say this. I know that the B word or budget has this little bit of a brand that a lot of people don't like to understand because they see budgets as being restrictive. But I allowed to say this is that budgets are not restrictive. They give you a way to restructure or plan your income comparison to what you plan to do that month. And a lot of things that I love to say, one of the another things I love to say, sorry, is that it allows you to plan, position, and to know where your paper is going to go. Maybe you have budgeted to go to what is that? Dreamville Festival, but you see tickets are this amount of money and you haven't been saving it for it, but you notice that still want to go, but you have to determine with the money that you do have without using those credit cards or doing the most with the lesser, is that hey, I only can get this ticket versus that. So it's like you have to allow your budget to not be restrictive, but to let you be an expense plan. If you are a corporate girly or corporate boo, that you know what how expense plans are. Like, hey, this is what I allocated to spend. This is what the reality is, and this is how it's going to add up to be. So you have to rebrand what we have come to know budgets as being bad or restrictive, but no, they're really freeing and give you the freedom to know this is what I can do. This is, it might not be as much as I want to do, but this is what I can do. And if it's not aligned to what I can't want to do, how can I save for it? How can I restructure it? How can I align so I can do it down the line, even if it's another paycheck down the line or a couple paychecks down the line? It's about understanding the freedom that the money that you do have can give, but also aligning to it better. So even if you feel that you can't do what you want to do, you have to figure out what the layers of the steps of what you can do to align to it. If you watch one of my previous videos, I talked about the whole treat yourself aspect is that you make stair steps into the things that you love to do. So the $0 to $25, I know I can only do this. The 26 to $50, I know I can only do that. And the stair step into 50 plus for things like that. That's the same thing that you may have to do when it comes to your hair. That's the same thing you might have to do when it comes to your upkeep, or it comes to buying clothes, or it comes to traveling, or whatever. You have to give yourself the experience within the expenses that you have. So it might not be the grandiose thing that you see or you're strolling on TikTok, but it's going to be within what's your pocket, because I don't want us to negate ourselves but with any kind of experience of life, basically because our expenses are a little bit not the thing that we want at this time. So let's get into not only what no spend, low spend challenges, we already talked about that, but just how to orchestrate that challenges so we can get the insights to get our budget together. Okay. When it comes to depending on what is going to be the no spend or the challenge that you're going to pick, what's your poison, red or blue pill, whichever you want to be on. Matrix. You can tell I'm millennial. Right. So the thing when it comes to picking the right challenges for you, I want you to pare down to not only your financial goals. What are you trying to do this year? Is it to save more money? Is it to pay down debt? Is it to build your emergency fund? What is it looking like? Then you need to figure out with it. You know, I'm always reading. Is that which challenge not only fits you, your lifestyle, your attention span. Hey, I'm just keeping a spade. Your attention span, and then how is it aligned to your goals? Like I said, most of the time people do no spend, low spend challenges is usually for a week. It's like a week spending plan of a sense or a challenge. So you figure out if can I do for a week. If you can do 4 hours, bet you will at least stay with it for a week. Then from there, you can determine if you want to do 2 weeks, and then actually take a step back to analyze if you're going to be doing any sort of challenge like this. Figure out a duration that works for you. It's 1 week, 2 weeks. Then I want you to figure out a debrief period, meaning after I'm going to do it for this amount of time, I'm going to debrief to reset and to refocus based upon what I have aligned for. This could mean you taking a step back to look at what did you do in that no spend or low spend challenge period, and then say, okay, I learned this, and then I learned that, and then this is what I'm going to do. So when you're going to go from the duration to the debrief, then to the decision on what your budget is going to be aligned towards that time. So you might have started off before the challenge as being a 50-30-20 baddie or 50-20-20 person or budget person, but the duration of the challenge that you pick, rather it's no spend or low spend, and then the debrief period might show you that you are more so aligned to a zero-based budget, which I'm all for. The thing around it is that the thing with budgeting is that you can start out being the traditional ratio method, but your reality will show you, and this is what these challenges will do. The reality will show you that, hey, I'm more so aligned for this type of budget or a hybrid of a sort. So that's the thing I want to call out. I would usually tell people if they are like but wet behind the ears with these type of challenges, to stick to a low spend challenge for at least 1 week. Yes. The thing with that is I want you to figure out what area of your budget that you tend to overspend. And then you're going to go low spend on that. You set the actual dollar amount that you're going to go and spend on. You have your essentials. Meaning you have to list out, get a sheet of paper. You have to list out what are the essentials within this area that I need to go ahead and get before I do the challenge. So if you know that that you're more so prone to get books and books and books, but you're not out utilizing Libby, that you're doing a low spend on your entertainment, and that you're only going to you read the books that you have, or you're going to utilize Libby, or you're going to utilize YouTube University, not University. But that's the thing with you or your green or wet behind the ears is that you have to stick to one area. I don't want you doing the whole complete low spin until you fully understand those potholes. That's why I usually say to my clients, what are those potholes within your spending that you're overspending? It could be the DoorDash, it could be the Uber Eats, it could be the Amazons, it could be buy now pay laters, it could be whatever. You need to figure out what the potholes are in your spending, and that could be actually where you start your low spend challenge. So now let's get on to what's going to take place before. Let's do the pre-work, pre-work before you get into your challenge. So when it comes to understanding, you already picked the challenge. Either it's going to be no spin, low spin. Now I want you to go into understanding the essentials of it all. You remember I did this right here telling you about the essentials? I want you to define what essentials look like for you. So if you're going to go through no spin, low spin challenge on, let's just say, eating out or during lunch, eating out, period. You go look through your budget. You determine, hey, I eat out a lot. I eat out most of the time during lunch, and I spend an average of this amount of money. So on a low spend, I'm only going to limit myself to eat out only once a week. It can be Friday. On this no spend, we got food at home, and it's coming to work, or the for the work at home people, the desktop. So you figure out how, look at your budget, determine this is what I'm overspending on. This is when I'm spending on. This is the actual average of what I'm spending within my budget. So is it going to go to no spend, low spend, and this is what it's going to look like. And then for the essentials part of it, if you know that you're only going to eat out on the low spend, if you're only going to eat out once a week, what's going to be your limit of how much you can spend that once on the week? On the no spend, how much would you usually would save or spend on that shit out eating out and stuff? Take a log of what you usually would spend, and then on the no spend, you can actually figure out how you can actually bucket that over to your savings that whenever you do get out of that duration of the period. So you look at your budget, determine how much you're usually on average spending, how are you feeling, and when are you usually spending, and then determine, hey, I want to go ahead and do a low spend, or I want to do a no spend. If you are doing a no spend and you're trying to curb eating out, what are you going to need to purchase before your challenge starts for you to stick to that? I don't want you to I'm just going to go ahead and do a no spend challenge. I'm not going to go to the grocery store and buy stuff that I need. But then when you go start the no spend challenge, you look at your groceries at home and you ain't got none. You have no groceries. That's the thing. When I did my no spend challenge, it was actually during a challenging time. I was laid off. And it was like a forced or involuntary no spin challenge, but it allowed me to challenge the way that I actually look at what ways could I do things differently when it comes to spending, what ways could I cut back, and what ways could I substitute. The thing that I'm going to start introducing is that for you not only say, oh, I got to cut it out, I can't do this and do that, but how can you actually restructure what you were doing for something either more economically friendly for your budget, or maybe you might need to cut it out for a while to see what can you do. So the thing with going back to getting those essentials, if your no spend, low spend is going to be eating out, that you go to the groceries, that you make a list, you meal prep, you make a list to say, this is what I want. I need this amount of snacks. I need something I can do fruit smoothies or something of the sort. And you apply that to that is the essentials list that you have before that challenge starts. And then whenever the challenge starts, that this is my essentials. If I'm not doing low spend and buying something under $20 or $15 that week, I'm not having it. This challenge allows you to get the discipline to know where your dollars is going and to make better decisions. Just taking the data from this challenge to know what your decisions has been in the past to determine where your dollars is going and actually refocus them to be better spent and aligned and retained. So the next thing could be to plan your week plan your duration of the period that you're doing it for. So you already know, going back to what I was saying about meal planning, is that I'm going to only eat these. I'm going to eat this on Monday, this on Tuesday, and so forth. Even if it's going to, this what's that thing that's going around. Like if you go to Texas Roadhouse and get the meal plan, the family meal, and you're gonna eat that for the week, and that's it. You spend $26, $32, and that's it. Or you're gonna go to Whole Foods and get the if I could put a picture in here, I am was like Parmesan chicken, potatoes, it's some green beans or something like that. That was $26.99 here where I am in Charlotte. So you can do things like that and say, okay, this is all I'm going to spend, and that's going to be my meal plan for the no spend. Or if you're going to do something similar but for the low spend, you know, you're only spending $15 on that Friday or whatever day, and you're going to go through and make a grocery list so you have something to eat every day. And then when you get to that day, you already will have it. And another thing I would tell you too, like I said, is if you take what you would have spent and then allocate that towards your savings. And then I want you to add some rewards into your challenge. So if by the, okay, so if you have a challenge to have a no spend or a low spend with, I'm picking on eating now because that's usually where people find their money going. The reward that you can have is by the end of it, you do what you're supposed to do, you hit all the markers for it, you're going to treat yourself to either going out or to a meal at a specific restaurant or something else. Maybe it is something for the Sephora sale. Maybe it is a book. Maybe it is a massage or something of that sort. You set the reward based upon the retention that you did during this process. The next thing is that you inform your family. You let the people know, even if it's your pre-rich best friend. I don't call them bro best friends, or if it's your family or your friends that you know they're gonna go out and stuff. Another thing I'm gonna say on top of that, if you are doing, make sure that you look at your event calendar to know that I'm doing this during birthday week, or I'm doing this during restaurant week, and I know that we usually go out to eat and there's all this stuff. Look at the calendar, determine when you want to do the challenge, figure out which challenge you're going to do, and then determine drawing a blank, and then determine the duration, and then the debrief, and then the decision moving forward. So that's the thing. Don't be doing no spend, low spend challenges during a time that you know that you will be triggered. So do your due diligence, determine what you're going to do, and then figure out within your budget which part that you actually want to focus on, and then go from there. And please inform the others, not PTO, prepare the others, but inform the others of what you're doing. And if they really give it, they will they will make sure and hold you accountable to getting that done. Some quick things to call out right here is that I want you to track your wins. No matter how big or small, it all adds up and compounds, like compound interest. I want you to embrace it. Remember, I was talking about even looking at the calendar to determine when is a good time. I know no time is going to be a good time because your friend could randomly pop up and say, "Oh, I know you got your challenge going on, but don't let put a derailment in your goals. Even if you're trying to figure out in a low spend, how can you shift it? Look for different money hacks. If you want to, if you know that you have something coming up and it wasn't on your calendar, and you know you're trying to cut back on spending on clothes, maybe go to a consignment store or something of the sort to stay within that budget if you have to, and still track your goals. But then when it comes to tracking your progress, say for instance, if you only are doing it for a week or 2 weeks, halfway through the challenge, look to see where you're doing. How are you doing before you get to the end of it? Because if you are looking at the middle of it all, you can determine what you've been doing and how you actually position yourself better to hit those wins towards the end. Okay? Okay. The core reason around why I want you to build out what are essentials to you beyond, like they say, the fixed or the variable parts of your budget. What is essential to your expenses and for your existence when it comes to the math and math it. So that's the thing I want you to do is to categorize. See, I still did it. Your expenses. So beyond like I said, the fixed and variable, what are key things such as essentials such as rent? Know that rent, certain bills versus the non-essentials, like the frills of it all. Though the essentials are like the function of the that make you run, but in a sense, some non-essentials could be seen as things that make you run, like get your hair done, get your hair cut. Anyway, but the thing around the non-essentials are things like entertainment, eating out, and things like that. So when it comes to pulling that down another layer is for you to allocate your income. This, you're pretty much understanding the distribution of the dollars that are coming in and then how it's going to go out. So going forward, if it's going to be your essentials, if it's going to be your non-essentials, and determine what is going to be functional, fun, or future, meaning it's making you to align for later, and then using your any leftover that you may have, like I was talking about in the pay up video, is that you have to say, okay, out of my bills and I have this amount left over, like you trying to zero that budget out. Instead, what am I going to put that extra to? No matter if it's a $2 or 200 or 20, what are you going to put that extra dollars to? So are you going to put it into a high yield savings account? Are you going to do the pay up method, or are you going to add it to your fund account? So that's the thing, is that whenever you're going through these no spend, low spend challenges, that you're understanding your, not only the, what are your process of getting it done, but what are you going to debrief to see what can you be doing differently with your money. And then when you allocate within where you are, this challenge is going to allow you to see, maybe I need to change and reallocate some things to actually make the accumulation of the money that I have run functionally. Because sometimes, child, when I did my involuntary no spend challenge, it allowed me to see that I was overspending on buying cheap clothes. No offense to anybody who do it. I was eating out at lunch when I could have been cooking, because I know how to cook. I was overspending on other things, and then I won't even saving. And I talked about that in the video a while back, is that I wasn't saving because when I got laid off, I didn't have anything to lay on, meaning I didn't have any money to get by through that tough time, because at that time, that was during the '08 recession, and a lot of people were laid off, and there was a backlog in getting your unemployment. So I had nothing to lay on. I had nothing to lean on until that little 2 week severance that I got happened. So my involuntary no spend challenge allowed me to see where I was spending, overspending, how I can actually lean out, and how I can actually leverage those insights to pretty much pivot my money better and more functional. And I was less stressed, even with being unemployed. And getting, being unemployed, and when you get unemployed, you're not bringing as much as you used to, even though I was used to bringing in was, yeah. But you're taking that insight from that no spend challenge to fully build out and retool your budget. So that's the reason why. And I love to talk about what went on in my past and what's going on in my wallet, because it allows people to know I'm not judging you. I done been through it, and I understand. And I teach people, whether they're clients or they're just watching, how to pretty much understand your means to build the more and without any judgment. So one of the things that I wanted to add to this video is that when it comes to building your budget, you already done an audit of your wallet. You've seen what no spend, low spend can do for you. Now you need to figure out which is going to be the budgeting method. Is it going to be an app, or is it going to be you just doing pen and paper every couple of weeks, or is it going to be a spreadsheet? Which is it? I'll probably link it below, a spreadsheet that I would recommend on Etsy. But I have some apps that I utilize, or I would recommend to people. The first one is Empower. Empower used to be, I forgot what the name it used to be, but it's an app that I've been seeing people utilize, and I've walked through it with a client before, and it's really good, and it connects to your bank account. I got a video on this, right? Next to your bank account to pretty much show you in real time what's going on. And they even have a high yield savings account. The next one is you need a budget. That's like an OG of their what Mint used to be. And they're pretty much retooling themselves to be very much autonomous to what's going on to the finance industry and what people need when it comes to their personal finances and budgeting journey. The next one is one that I have been pushing, honestly, to people, is Monarch Money. I have loved the functionality, the UX of it all. Those are usually my big three. Big three is trending over on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. So those are my big three when it comes to budgeting apps. Is Empower, UNAB, or YNAB. I say UNAB every time. YNAB, or even Monarch Money. And another one that I have been starting to introduce to, so we go ahead and add four. The other one is Quicken. Quicken is another platform to utilize when it comes to budgeting. So after you have gone through the duration of the no spend, low spend, you can do a debrief. You can understand what are you doing, what are you not doing right, and then you can actually make a decision on which budgeting style works for you, which area of your budget do you want to cut back on, and what area do you want to pretty much cut out. And the apps or the platforms that you can use to carry yourself through with that. And then going on to what after what. So even if you were to do a no spend, low spend challenge for, let's say, 2 weeks, and you do a debrief period, and you decide if you want to just roll with your budget as is, you could pick up and do a no spend, low spend challenge every quarter, every year, every month, every other month, or whatever. It's up to you, your dollars, and your financial goals for your money. So the lasting benefits of doing these challenges that it makes you more intentional with your money, and it actually allows you to see the insights and to implement it better. And that's one of the things that I have said is that you people love to make budgets based upon ratios, but they're not really in tune with the reality of where their money is going and flowing. And the no spend, low spend challenges allows you to do that. Let's see. So let me know below, have you either done a low spin or no spin challenge? If so, let me know how that went for you. What are some things you probably want me to talk through in another video around this, if there's another one needed? If so, hey, let's talk about it. That's what this group chat around your currency is about. So let me know in the comments below if you have done one, or are you going to do one now, and then how you're going to utilize it to build your budget or to rebuild your budget. And then if any other resources that I think will be appropriate to you will be in the comment section or description bar. You know, I'm still getting used to this description section. And I just really want people to fully know and grow their budget. And it's no such thing. It's no bad thing if you have to find yourself starting over with your money journey. That's what this is about. You have to flip the coin until you get it on the head or the tail that you really intend to with your money. You have to understand the means while you're building the more, and hopefully this video will allow you to get that in your spirit. Y'all trying to make it rhyme. It will allow you to get that when it comes to your money management situation. And if you mess, let me say this, if you mess up on a no spend, low spend challenge, guess what? You can restart it anytime. So try to stay disciplined as you can, but then just go ahead and restart it. Whenever you do restart it, the duration goes a little bit longer. So if you find yourself, you started at 2 weeks, but you notice a week, 1.5 that you messed up, go ahead and restart the whole challenge over until you get it all in your mind that this is how what I wanted to do. This is how it's going to impact my finances now as well as later. So give yourself grace, but also give yourself the grit to get through it. So that's it. If you have any additional questions outside of the no spend, low spend challenge, I have a blog post that's going to be in the description as well that you can go read and go through and things like that. I'm going to probably be talking about doing a 2-week no low spend challenge over on my Instagram. So give me a follow so you can see about that. Even on, I probably put this on TikTok as well, or you know I love to share in shorts. So go look to the description bar to find out about the blog. Follow me on other forms of social media. Ask any questions that you may have. Share this video, like as well as subscribe. That's it.